Hello, dear friends. I'm here to talk about the April of the year 2020. This is a horoscope of some sort of a general overview of the month. And at the end of this video, I will shortly mention what each of the zodiac signs can expect this month. Recently, I have posted on YouTube new video about Saturn in Aquarius, which I recommend to you very much. And I have in different other languages that I use. I also have video lessons for each zodiac sign about that what Saturn in Aquarius will bring to each zodiac sign. Still not in English. If I have time, I will make it. I'm saying this often in English, but then I don't have time for that. But perhaps I will make it. I will have enough time for everything that I want to do. Definitely soon will be new video about conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto in those three languages that I use for my work, so you can wait for that at least. That will surely come. Okay, so let's mention some of the major transits and let's say something in general about the symbolism of this month. So full moon is going to be on the 8th of April. It will be in Libra. And new moon will be at the 23rd of April in Taurus. Then the sun is going to be in Aries until the 19th of April and then will be in Taurus. A very important thing is that between the 1st and the 6th of April, Jupiter makes for the first time exact conjunction with Pluto. This actually started at the end of March and it's lasting this first week of April. There are other important transits like at the 7th Mars squares Uranus, then for example on the 26th of April Sun conjuncts Uranus and so on, but I will not list all of those aspects. There are quite many important aspects. So the month begins with the meeting of Jupiter and Pluto, and we felt this conjunction strongly in March already. So after the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto that happened in January 2020, now there is another major conjunction in Capricorn. And this one will be repeated in June and in November 2020. At the end of the year, there is going to be the last and the third conjunction of different combination of planets. So the last one will be between Saturn and Jupiter. And that's how those big conjunctions will end, those in Capricorn. And this is truly unique event in history, which speaks about the complete change of the world's highest and ruling structures. Jupiter and Pluto meet for the first time from the end of March, we said. And the exact conjunctions is until the 7th of April. But basically, this energy is developing from the beginning of the year, and it reaches its first peak in the first week of April. So after the first week of April, there is going to be first restart. Only first one. There will be more in the year, at least 3. So as early as the second week of April starts, there is some sort of decline of energy, which may be some sort of first sums in every sense. So we need to sum what happened when this tsunami came to us. Metaphorically tsunami. When Jupiter and Pluto meet, everything that happens affects the masses. So we have seen that already. It is more than clear. This is one of those planetary constellations that knows no boundaries, and that is why it can potentially be very dangerous. Of course, can be fantastic, just we need to know how to use this energy. So because those two planets met in Capricorn, it can mean an unlimited hunger for power, for wealth, for success, and for some other things. So this is a period when unprecedented, huge scandals happen, and it can take a very long time to find out what really happened. It is easy to manipulate with masses in this time, with this conjunction. So it is very important in this time to find leaders who are moral enough and who know what really makes sense to do, because mistakes in this time can have tragic consequences for a long time, or effect for a long time. One has to be very careful during and after this isolation that we have now, home isolation, and because many will say when this finishes, save us from this and give us any solution. There are many ways to rescue people, to heal people, to help people, to save people, and so on. So we should be very careful about this. Of course, I'm not a doctor. I have doctorate in philology, not in medicines, so I'm not giving any health advices here. But I want to say that there are many ways also of healing. People can heal by using frequencies, changing the state of consciousness, widening consciousness, and so on. So one can learn from different sources and just not rely just on that what officially has been offered or will be offered. Such diseases as we have now are related to Neptune and the sign of Pisces. And I spoke about that in the video for March 2020. But the same planets and the same sign are symbols of healing. So we can be healed easily also. No problem for that if people find the way. It is very good to know that, for example, in April, Mars is making sextile on Chiron. That's the asteroid Chiron, known as a wounded healer. And this sextile will be on the 8th of March. It's not very strong aspect, but it can possibly bring some news about healings. And further on this, between the 7th and 8th of April, Mercury has good aspects, so there can be very good and positive news. And this is repeated also on the April 18th. So yes, there are good news in April. I'm sure you're all waiting for this. In the video for the month of March, I recommended autophagy. And this is some sort of fast. If you're interested, you can check what that means via internet. And I want to add here something else. When it is a tough time in life, any tough time in life, one should be strict to himself. However, when this process of isolation started in Europe and America, Venus was extremely strong. That was happening in March. So many people did actually the opposite. They were not tough to themselves. People bought extremely many food and everything. First, that buying was part of this Venus and Pluto aspects, but also people ate a lot, as I know, so far as I know. And that's really not the best thing to do. I think this will stop a little bit, this desire to satisfy these senses and need to eat. I think it will be less intense in April because of lunar activity. But I want to say here that it's very important to maintain good fitness and to gain immunity in such period as we have. So Chinese have special technique that they call Yangshen. Yangshen we translate in English nurturing of life, which means to do exercises, to eat proper food according to natural changes, and to rest. At least those three things. And for the sake of maintaining good health and boosting the immunity, we should eat what is typical for a certain period of time in the year. So in this time of the year, we should eat everything that is green. And basically people in many parts of the world do the same, of course. We don't need Yangshen to know about this. So what should we eat in spring? If you have spring now in this time, depends where you are on the globe. In spring we eat spinach, we eat nettles, we eat leeks, and everything that is green. Young onion, for example, and things like that. One should also try to exercise. If you can go to walking is perfect, but if not, then you should do exercises, because in spring We should move as much as possible, and when we sit and we don't do anything, we actually destroy our immunity system. Since this year is full of extreme, no one knows how energy will truly manifest and what will happen. So yes, it is good to take care of oneself. That's the only thing and the best thing that we can do now for ourselves. Some people are afraid to go out from the house because they saw people in China falling down on the street. I often quote Jung, Carl Gustav Jung, psychologist, when I want to say to people that it's important to make differences in confusing situations. Well, Carl Gustav Jung said that dogs have lice and fleas sometimes at the same time. So, people can fall because of different reasons. We saw birds falling down in some periods. Last year we saw bees falling down and dying in extremely big amount. We saw dead fish. We saw now people falling down on the streets. Of course, that means a lot. I believe you know. In the videos about the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto, I have two videos, check them if you wish. I gave some guidance how to survive during this year. So this year is about of maximum concentration of energy and power. One should find the concentration minimum to concentrate energy in himself and herself and find that minimum that is enough to survive. Just this little dot have to be very strong. We don't need anything more than that. In the January and February videos also, and also in my new video about Saturn in Aquarius, I emphasize that awakening of the collective consciousness is extremely important now, and that is very important also for people to perceive themselves or oneself as a part of the collective. We don't need to worry only about our needs. Of course, we know how to protect ourselves, but we need to think of the collective needs. This is the major theme regarding the entry of Saturn in Aquarius, which has been there for the first time in Aquarius after 30 years. So Saturn stays briefly in Aquarius during this first entry, from the end of March until the 1st of July 2020. And then will settle permanently in Aquarius sign from December 2020 until the March 2023. However, we already see what the archetype of Aquarius is talking about. So it is important to feel that we are all part of a collective, and that as a collective we have great power, and we have also as a collective our rights. So it is also time to turn things around for people to come together and to work on their own and common good. This is what is emphasized by the Aquarius energy in April, and it is also even more stressed because Uranus, ruler of Aquarius, is very strongly aspected this month. So which can actually also lead to some sort of protests in many parts of the world. So everything on this earth is made because of people and because of plants and because of animals. So we decide what is going to happen and what we need to happen. It is impossible that somebody else decides. Just it is very pity that people are not aware of this. So we see that when crises happen in every part of the world or in any country, in any nation, everybody has his crisis, because in crisis time we see differences, and also we see what is the general problem of that society, of that nation, of that state. So this crisis also showed a lot. On April 7th, Mars squares Uranus, which will be in conjunction with Saturn. This is a very difficult aspect, and this aspect can even cause violence in some parts of the world, but it's not a big problem. Fortunately, this is a very short period aspect. And fortunately, there are also some very good aspects at the same time. So I believe that we will easily overcome things I hope we will easily overcome everything that is happening in April. In April, the Sun is in Taurus, will square with Saturn in Aquarius on the 21st, and on the 26th, the Sun will make square to Uranus also. So we have been saying for a long time that Uranus is in Taurus. I have 3 videos in English about Uranus in Taurus, which I really recommend to you. And we said with this position of Uranus, we will completely change our values on this planet. I suppose it will be very clear that it's important to protect people and to protect nature, to protect ourselves, to spread awareness and to awaken conscience among people, and not to teach the world that it is important to gain as much money in the very short period of time, or it is not important to develop more new technologies, wireless communication, and so on. We have enough, we don't need more. I believe that should be the position that we should take in this year, next few years also. Let's say something about each zodiac sign. I know that everyone wants this, but we live in the time when things are happening for everybody the same way, basically. So everything that is happening now, the collective where we live influences us. We can hardly separate. This is this Aquarius energy. But okay, let's say that, of course, we are all individuals. We should be also individuals, and that we have some our inner processes. So shortly saying, in April, Aries, Libra, and some Taurus people start a new cycle, and I wish them all very good luck. All of them will summarize the results and make some new plans, I believe it is possible in current situation also, start something new in some way. Then Mercury is generally well aspected, so Gemini and Virgo people are ready for a new perception of reality, and they're quite good in communication in this time. Then Crabs, Pisces, and Scorpio people can be very successful in this time of crisis, of course, can make a lot of money if they want so, and if other aspects make that possible. Leo people may need to watch what do they do with their money, with their investment, especially at the end of the month, especially if they're doing with some financial speculations. Otherwise, Leo people usually feel very good when the Sun is in Aries, the same as Sagittarius people. Although Sagittarius people this month may be in a very special state, to some of them, April actually can bring life-changing turn. Capricorn people, especially those with the planets on the last degrees of Capricorn, are going in this April through a very special time, and actually this is some sort of a culmination of their present state, and more or less nothing extra big will happen during the year later on. So they basically know the energy. It is already everything there. April is the culmination, and then from that on, they will need to solve some things, to make some decisions, and so on. Basically, many things already happened. This is good to know. They will know that on the end of April. And of course, Aquarius people, who are very special in this time, especially if they have planets on the first 5 degrees of Aquarius sign, they strongly understand that one long life cycle is end and something new is coming, and they maybe can have new ideas that can be very useful for all of us, as their role in the society is actually to give ideas to the society. And that's all for now. I have edited a special video, as I said, about Saturn in Aquarius. Check that, please. Saturn in Aquarius will specially affect, of course, Aquarius, then Scorpio people, Leos, and Taurus people. If you want to have with me special consultations based on this transit, please feel free to contact me. On my webpage, symbolicthinking.net, you will see that I offer short course of astrology for beginners. And there you will see which types of consultations I offer. I basically work with astrological psychology and spiritual astrology, but I also offer consultations based on Theta Healing and Feng Shui. You can see that on my YouTube channel there are different videos. Now I have started to edit shorter versions of my previous videos, and these shortened versions of video, they present only one subject. I think this is very good if you want to watch it for a few minutes, you don't have much time, then you can see those short videos that develop one subject. There is also a video about this year according to Chinese calendar, which is the metal mouse year. Not really the best beginning, we see, but let's hope it will be better. You will find all of those contacts and everything that I recommended under this video on YouTube. If you like the video, like it, please forward it, subscribe to my channel, and thank you very much for that in advance. Until next time, I wish you happiness, health, and wisdom.